The Value Meal Killer. Sasquatch Recordings.
I'll get you anything you want, anything you need. I'll get you Taco Bell, Burger King, and Mickey D. My cheese fries will make you open your thighs. I'll feed you pizza pie
until the day you die.
And I'm gonna make you chocolate chip cookies. They'll taste so good, they make you howl like a Wookiee.
Hey, boo!
I'm gonna get you to slobber on them cheddar biscuits. They make it Red Lobster.
He's got so many snacks you'll think it's heaven.
My bedroom is just like a 7-Eleven.
He don't have herpes,
but I got Slurpees. I got Hot Pockets and I got beef jerky. I'm a snack fiend and I need a snack queen, and that will help me clean out the vending machine.
He's the snack king, so y'all better get ready.
I'm gonna eat you up like your little Debbie.
He's a snack king, baby. He's got stacks of snacks that'll drive y'all crazy. He's a snack king, ladies. So play with his biscuits and slurp up his gravy. Bow down to the snack king, bow. You know I'm gonna eat that snack packs back, and we love snacks.
Hello, weirdos. How's everybody doing out there? It's Jbird and it's Dennys, and we're live from my living room.
Oh, yeah.
The Weird and Whatever studio, as we call it.
Yes, this is Sasquatch East.
Yes, Sasquatch East. Sasquatch Recordings East. So we're just going to eat some lunch today with y'all. I'm not sure if you guys are eating lunch right now. It's kind of late. It's, what, 3:40?
So this would be, what is it? This is dinner, right?
This is dinner. I haven't eaten today. It's the first meal I'm having.
I also have not eaten today. I had some nuts earlier. But yeah, I don't know, the quarantine days, I feel like I eat one big meal, you know, and then I kind of just snack all day.
Oh, big time. I'm snacking a lot. I'm gonna show it to the camera. Yeah, I got the Sicilian pizza. Are you a thick pizza guy, Denny's, or do you like it thin?
I have, you know, it depends on the evening, because my family's from Chicago, so we're very big on the really thick deep dish Chicago pizza, but I consider that a different style pizza than I consider a New York pizza, which Jen, my wife's family, is from New York, so when I go up there I get to get the New York pizza, you know.
Oh yeah.
And everybody in New York has their like preferred pizza place, so you get to try out about like 6 different pizza places.
Your favorite New York pizza, clearly Sbarro.
Yeah. When you come to the big city, you know the hot spots. Yeah, Sbarro.
I just want to say hello to everybody in the chat room. We know that a lot of you are quarantined at home and are kind of going stir crazy. I know I'm going a little stir crazy. I'm just happy I get to go to work. But yeah, after that, and when Denny's leaves, the
loneliness sets in.
Gets a little quiet. So if you are lonely at home, if you are quarantined and crazy, just spend a little time with me and Denny's. Have some lunch. Yes, I'm going with the pizza, Denny's. Tell the good people what you're eating. You're not a big Italian fan, are you?
Well, no, I love Italian food. I'm a big pasta fan.
Don't start that lie.
Yeah, what are you trying to do here? No, I always go pasta. Yeah, I'm not a giant pizza fan. I do like pizza, but I eat pizza way seldom. It's not my preferred go-to. I can see the appeal of it. It's really easy, and you can order, and it feeds, you know, multiple people.
All right, chat room, let us know. Do you like the Sicilian, the thick stuff, or the thin, or the regular pizza? Let's see what the voting does. Amy Talbot in the chat room says, I'm so lonely. There's a lot of lonely people out there right now, Denny's.
Yeah, man.
I mean, we were talking a little bit about on the KVJ show. Is it possible, if everyone followed the guidelines of the social distancing, that you could potentially not get laid for another 3 or 4 months?
Yeah, I mean, if everybody was a law-abiding citizen, you could probably have a big spout there.
There's no way eventually people would crack.
Well, I mean, not everybody abides by the laws either, so there's probably a giant percentage of people not, you know, practicing that.
Because my number's gone out on the air, and I've been talking to a lot of people. Like I said yesterday when we did a little podcast, a lot of breakups going on. People are breaking up, and they're still in the same house together. Could you imagine being broken up with somebody and still living in the same house?
It's rough.
Has it happened to you before?
Oh, I've had an ex-girlfriend. You know, there's that parallel overlap time where you have to like figure. It's rough. It's not a good situation.
You try to go to the kitchen. You're in your bedroom. You're hungry. Then you hear her go into the kitchen. She starts making something. Now you have to wait 20 minutes to go because you don't want to have that
You're like, you
weird.
bitch. No, I'm just
You
kidding.
don't want to have that weird moment.
Yeah, man, it's awful. And I think a lot of people are going through it. They're making, the jokes. I think I brought it up before, but the jokes about the divorce lawyers are just frothing at the mouth for after the quarantine's up.
Big time. Also in the chat room, let us know, what are you eating tonight for dinner? I love finding out what people eat. Is that a weird thing about me, or do a lot of people actually like hearing about what other people eat? Because I don't think you give a frog's fat ass what people eat.
I don't, but I think a majority of people do care about food because it is sustenance. It's what keeps it. It's a big part of our lives, and a lot of people celebrate that. Your family celebrated eating food. I think a lot of families use that as a moment, whether it's the family time or it's just a moment where everybody is together and enjoying something.
Was your family not big food people? Like foodies?
So, I mean, they were. My parents were. We had everything, It was very diverse, I guess you could say, but it was never the focal point,
So in my house, if it was breakfast, we were talking about lunch.
Yeah.
And then at lunch, we were talking about what's going on for dinner.
Absolutely.
And then at dinner, we're talking about, dessert and leftovers. But then on my dad's side, I don't think my dad loves food. My mom's side, we loved food, but she's a full-blooded Italian. I mean, every feeling she had was about food on some level.
Yeah, well, if you look at every culture, the food is celebrated, and then you have all these vast cuisines from far lands and everything, just because people want to share it and spread it with other cultures. So we have a ton of. The cool thing about it's actually weird to me. We've been watching a lot of British television, So it's weird when I see a McDonald's over there, or, American brands over there, and some of the stuff they do things a little bit different. I can't quite put a finger on it. I don't want to get too much on the Brits right now, but they do.
Denny's, I don't need that kind of heat right now.
Yo, I know the British really come after you, but it's just weird that they do things so similarly yet so differently.
Different but same.
It's a crazy thing.
What movie is that from? Different but same.
What was the movie answer from yesterday that you dropped?
What was the question? Because I can't
You did
remember.
you did a movie quote, and you go, if anyone knows that.
I didn't get one answer. That shows
It was
you.
too obscure.
That shows you I got the I really got the pulse of the audience. Yeah, the obscure stuff doesn't always do that well. Remember when I was on my ragtime run for a while?
Yeah.
I really thought we could do some ragtime stuff and people would like it and think it's fun. Man, I was wrong on that one, guys.
I don't think ragtime will come back in style, except for in a version of kind of mocking it.
You know what I mean? I ragtime's funny. You sing like
It's
that.
funny. It's funny. That's what I'm saying. It comes back as a novelty. I don't know if it comes back as a top 40, style of music.
I hear you.
I think there's a lot of, and weirdly, I don't know if it's just because there was so much diversity in music, and then now it's kind of a lot of it's mingled. Everything's a fusion of everything. At this point, a lot of music styles have been done. It's hard to conceptualize a new style of music.
Okay, so let's say Lizzo and Maroon 5 and all of your popular acts right now, they just said, screw it, we are going to go on this ragtime run. And everyone's singing like this. And the record execs are pushing it and pushing it, and that's the new sound. Ragtime is just thrown down your throat like it was in the 20s.
For sure.
Do people start to like ragtime?
Yeah, because you're driving the narrative, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But that's how that works. That's how the corporate machine works. That's why, radio plays the same songs over and over.
So
again.
you could, you
can
up
make
liking shitty
anything
songs.
popular, but everything's been fused so much now. It's a fusion. If ragtime was to reincarnate, it would come back as a hip hop or dubstep fusion of ragtime.
Ragtime, bitch. What? Something like a little hip hop, little ragtime in there.
Or it would come back as a novelty throwback So you know how some of the movies are these filters now make the movies look like they're old, even though they're shot in present day.
Yes.
All that stuff is because it has a nostalgic look to it, a feel to it. The music's it's the same thing. They're trying to fuse old music with new concepts. Like when Meghan Trainor came out, she was basically doing 50s doo-wop music to a pop beat,
Yes.
Only thing that really changed was the beat. And then she's kind of doing the same harmonies, same style of thing, maybe modernized chord progressions. But all of that stuff is essentially the same. So they'll find a way to take ragtime. I just don't know if they'll be able to take ragtime as it was back then.
I don't think ragtime's making that resurgence, y'all. Let me know in the comment section. Do you hate ragtime as much as I think you do?
This'll be another-
Some cat in the chat room, I believe it was Matt, he said he loves ragtime, but he could just be messing with me as well. Yeah, so we're just eating some food, just seeing if you guys got anything on your mind, drop it in the chat room. If you guys got some drama or you guys want a topic you guys want to hit. Someone says, Jason, what do you keep looking at? I'm looking at the chat room. So basically what I'm reading, you just wrote, I'm looking at. And I'm also looking at Denny's too.
Yeah, I'm right next to Bird.
Yeah, we're in the same room.
We're doing it next to each other. A little social distancing here.
Yeah, social distancing.
High five.
I mean, not only would I get the corona from you, I would get any other kind of disease.
The four of us, technically, Kevin, Virginia, Suits, you and I guess the five of us, all of us would be, there's no way if one of you guys got it or I got it, it's just going to all of us, unfortunately.
Well, we're all just hoping that nobody on our little ship gets the corona because we are enjoying going into work and doing a show for y'all. That's what's keeping my sanity, is doing the morning show. And of course, our little chats, Denny's.
Well, I think you have to have some routine, even if quarantine is completely, because some people's lives, they're still going to work. They're still doing the normal grind. And then some people are quarantined or some people are doing work now from their home. So whatever your situation be, it's different than it was because even us who's still going to work's way different now.
It is way different.
It is like Mad Max up in there.
It's very odd.
Yeah, so for everybody, the script's been flipped. So I think any sort of routine you can put into your life or schedule, I think is good. Just because everything's so different, you need some sort of routine, something to root you down a little bit.
A lot of people asking some questions, which I love. Is this Jbird's place? Yes, this is my place, my living room. Are we going to be playing the video game again this Friday?
Yes.
We are absolutely. Some people want us to play the baseball game again. That's
totally cool.
I took the loss. I'm wearing the bikini when I leave.
Well, so we often debated because initially when we thought of this, it makes sense to play a game multiple times because, I mean, some of us, that basketball game, neither of us had played that game in 2.5 years.
Basketball was a rush.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That was rushed. Then baseball, that was the first time you haven't picked that game up in over probably 2 years.
Yeah.
Jeez. So, I mean, we're so rusty at those. If we played like 3 games, but then we debated about it because we were worried maybe that bores the audience because they're watching the same game each time. We're trying to think of ways to make it a little more exhilarating for everyone. I do like the retro game challenge. I do have retro titles that we could stream, like the ones you actually know,
like a Contra, like
Altered Beast,
old man video games.
Yeah.
I'm a Donkey Kong man, y'all.
Altered Beast would be cool.
Altered Beast. I love Sega Genesis. How many people remember the original Sega Genesis that came with the game Altered Beast?
Yeah.
And I hated that game when I first got it.
It's
and
hard.
Back in the summer, I had a baseball game, and I played the hell out of it. And I got so good at it, I started getting bored, and we didn't have money to get another game at the time. We had to wait like a payday or something. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to play something, and I played the shit out of Altered Beast. I ended up loving that game. And I played it back with you. And I can't believe how shitty of a game that is.
Yeah.
It's not a good game.
Some games don't hold up as well. Altered Beast is cool for the first 3 levels, and then it starts getting like a little repetitive. But it's not that long of a game. It's just difficult. But, yeah, I mean, I felt the same way with games, man, back then. We would get maybe 3 a year, you know? So you played the crap out of them. Like Mega Man 2, I played nonstop, if you need a napkin. I played Mega Man 2 so much that even when I go back in my adulthood and play that game, I remember the exact same order for all the ninja bosses and stuff, or the robot bosses. Yeah, Atari's cool too, man. One of my friends had Atari, but some of those games were awful. If you go upon reflection, you can actually get they sell it. It's like a miniature Atari. That's like the new trend. Where
It's so cool.
They come out with the game systems miniaturized with like preloaded with the popular titles. Those are fun to grab if you grab them. If you buy them latent, they go up in price because people hoard them, I guess.
Someone's asking this, Denny's. I have a question for you two. If you could choose to switch lives with one member of the show for 24 hours, who would it be and why?
Probably Kevin.
It'd be you.
Well,
because it wouldn't change that much.
If Leaf lived, it would just literally be changing houses.
I'll take care of the cats for a day. You take care of Chewy. I would not want to switch. Yeah, you would be my pick. to pick for.
Well, so I would do. If it's only 24 hours, I'd do it to observe a life. I'd want to see like what Kevin's life.
That's a good point, Denny's.
If it was permanent, I'd be like, all right, let's think about this.
I think you're right. I think I might choose. I choose Kevin then. Yeah, did you observe what goes on?
Yeah, I would just like to observe a day in the life of Kevin. Like when he departs from us, where does he go?
Yeah, where does that mask man go?
Coronavirus. Yeah, just.
I know him and the Queen. They go out a lot.
They go. I would consider them socialites. They do go out and they like to socialize. They like to try out new restaurants, new bars. They like to find that stuff, and it's pretty cool. So in that category, just I would like to be a fly on the wall or something, just to see how it goes down. But that's me. Suits would be funny too, probably.
People want to know what we're eating. Yeah, if you guys are just joining us, I'm having some Sicilian pizza. I don't really love. I was gonna tell you where it's from. But I don't love it, and I don't want to bash the place. It's not that good.
I gotta say I'm a penne pasta guy.
Well, I ordered the Sicilian, and I ordered one slice of the thin, and the thin is remarkably better than the thick stuff. That's what she said. So
never.
What is, in your opinion, out of all the movies out there, what's the most universal, quotable movie where guys, girls alike could quote it? Because I was quoting Tombstone before the podcast started. Not everyone knows Tombstone. It's a Western from the mid-'90s. One of my all-time favorite movies, littered with quotes. One of the most quotable movies, but it's very much a dude
I'd say
movie.
Anchorman is probably pretty quotable by a lot of people. I would say Mean Girls is probably quotable by both genders. Or all genders.
Mean Girls, that's the one. I've only seen Mean Girls like twice. Did you love Mean Girls?
Yeah, the movie's pretty good.
It's as good as everyone says.
I could be in the age demo that falls into the category that likes it, I guess. That one, I thought that one was good. Old School was kind of dude-ish, but I bet a lot of girls saw that just from hanging out with dudes.
Yeah, and we know that's everyone, like guy or girl, could like any of these movies, Tombstone alike. I'm just saying,
absolutely.
Overall, most people would say Tombstone's more of a dude flick.
Absolutely. But yeah, no. Yeah, those two I would consider pretty good. Office Space is a great example too. Goonies.
Stacy in the chat room. No way. I love Tombstone and I'm a girl.
Yeah, I mean it's a great movie. I
need to shut my sexist mouth up then.
Everybody's got great examples. Bridesmaids is a fantastic one.
That's a good movie.
That's a great movie.
My favorite part in Bridesmaid is when Melissa McCarthy takes the puppies and she's in the van and she's driving.
I was taking a shower this morning before work, and I get up early and take a shower. And while I'm showering, that scene was playing in my head this morning with her holding the puppies and then her doing the kinky sex thing in the credits. And I was like, why the hell is this popping into my head? And then I started thinking of Sookie from Gilmore Girls for some weird. I don't know why Melissa McCarthy was on the brain.
I'm gonna throw some famous quotes at you. You have to tell me what movie they're from.
All right.
Okay.
How obscure?
No, they won't. I know. I'm going to keep it universal for everybody here, just so I don't lose the audience again. Okay. Chester Copperpot. Denny's.
That's got to be. Is that Annie?
No, it's not Annie.
What's that from?
Chester Copperpot. Come on, somebody in the chat room, please, before I tell Denny's.
Yeah, somebody guaranteed knows
I'll give you another line from the movie, okay? It's so easy, though.
I mean...
Hey, you guys!
Oh, all right. That's from the Goonies. Dude,
yeah.
I have not seen that movie. I know it's shameful because everybody loves
That's
that.
a solid movie.
Well, so what happened was, initially, I bought DVDs, right? I bought a ton of DVDs. I thought DVDs were going to be the thing. And then they came out with Blu-rays, so I was like, all right, darn, I got so many freaking DVDs. So anyway, I have a ton of movies from a time frame, and then they moved to Blu-rays, and I was like, well, what do I do? You know, blah, blah, blah. And then everything went digital. I started buying Blu-rays, and then it went digital. Well, so then I got I got so annoyed with the game that now that it's all digital, I didn't sign up for all that stuff because I was like, I have so many DVDs, and now I don't even have a DVD player, so I have a ton of DVDs that I can't do anything with, so I use them for decoration. But like
they actually look cool in your place, to be quite honest with you.
Well, those are the last time I've watched those because I don't have any digital subscriptions or anything. Like Jen watches like Netflix and stuff, but like yeah, so I'm so out of touch with stuff. Unless we watch something, it could go 15 years since I've seen an old classic movie. Like Back to the Future, I love that movie, but I haven't seen that movie in probably 8 years.
Okay, what movie is this from? Did you order the code red? You're damn right I did.
It's got to be. It's A Few Good Men.
It is.
You quote that movie constantly.
I'm editing it down a little bit. That's one of those ones I think is very universal.
I just said yesterday, I made a joke saying, I was like, oh, that's your movie right there. And you said, that's not my favorite movie.
It's not my favorite movie, but I do quote that movie a lot.
You quote that movie so much.
But that movie's old as shit now. I mean, that's like for kids growing up, that they look at that like a Casablanca, probably. Think about it.
Oh, totally.
If you're a 12-year-old kid and you see A Few Good Men on, you're probably going, this is some old shit. To me, that doesn't seem like it's that old. And that's how you know you're getting old.
Totally. Dude, I've seen Casablanca like 8 times.
I've never seen it.
I love that
like
movie.
it?
No.
Really?
No.
Terrible?
You would not like it. There's a lot of movies that I know that you would like this if somebody surmised it for you. But then if you actually watch it, some movies their concepts better than they are in practice. Like Soylent Green. I love that movie. But that movie is... I don't know if it's that good of a movie.
You're definitely losing the audience.
Yeah, all right. Let's get back to track.
We just dropped 20 listeners.
I saw Weird Science. I do like that reference.
That's another old movie too.
That's from that's your boy too, Val Kilmer.
Wedding Crashers, I like, but even that movie. When did that movie come out?
Probably 2004, right?
Like 2004, 2005.
It's somewhere in that ballpark.
So that's how many years ago?
Yeah, if you think about it, that's like 15 years ago.
The movie I was watching, it was on this morning. I wanted HBO. It was that one with the little kids swear in it, and they're in middle school, but it's kind of made like a raunchy teen movie, but they're in middle school. I think Seth Rogen did it, or
Weird.
Judd Apatow.
All right.
If anyone knows the name of that, I can't think of it. I was into the movie.
All right.
It was not a bad movie. I liked it.
From like 2004 to 2011, there was like a pretty good run of comedies. Like they found a vein, and then I feel like that vein just got beaten to death. You know what I'm saying? To where now comedies are so predictable. The story is always the same. I don't know. The beginning's funny, and then it trails.
It's called Good Boys.
All right. I remember the ads. I never saw it.
I liked it. Did you guys like that movie? Let me know in the chat room.
Revenge of the Nerds still does hold up. We watched that one pretty recently.
That's a good movie. That's a classic that I think holds up. If you are younger and have not seen Revenge of the Nerds, give it a try. Just give it 20 minutes.
There's one part with the mask that's a little like...
Oh, well, that yeah.
Outdated,
That's
but-
a lot of those 80 movies had
like that.
They had some weird hashtag Me Too moments in it.
Totally.
Yeah, that if that was made today, there would be such an uproar.
It would have to be a different angle, you know? They'd
Yes.
have to change it.
Yeah, Revenge of the Nerds was funny from back in the day. I'm trying to think of some more modern movies that I like. There's some on Netflix that they do. There was a Vince Vaughn movie that he was in prison, and it was a serious movie, and I didn't hate that movie. I'm terrible at these friggin' names.
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn.
He was in prison.
It's a prison movie. I like prison movies, man. Prison movies are good when they get their ass kicked, and then they gotta come back, and then they're the underdog.
Oh, yeah.
Innocent Man, Tom Selleck, another old ass movie.
So the best part of that movie, that whole movie's the best part of that movie, but the beginning, because they're painting him as such the wholesome, perfect, like, American. It's so funny. And then he gets pinned with a crime that he didn't commit, and an innocent man gets committed to prison. And that movie's great if you haven't seen it, but you got to expect a little bit of cheesiness in there.
All right, what movie is this from? You like numbers? No, that's not, I fucked up the line. You like apples?
Oh, let me guess. Good Will Hunting.
You like, yeah, totally. Haircut. You like apples? Well, I got a number. How do you like them apples?
That's fun. That is a great
We love
movie.
Good Will Hunting.
That's a great movie.
That is a good movie. Good Will Hunting's probably one of my all-time favorite movies. It's a fantastic flick.
Yeah, Good Will Hunting is very solid. Some funny suggestions of movies in there. Flight of the Navigator.
I mean, that is some obscure 80s shit right there.
Young Frankenstein's got some funny parts in it for sure.
My family loved that movie. And I watched that as a little kid, so I don't think I just got it.
I like Mel Brooks a lot. I went and reflected upon a lot of his work.
All right, what movie is this from? Who's scruffy looking?
Oh, Star Wars.
Empire Strikes Back.
All right, Star Wars: Empire Strikes Back. You didn't let me finish.
All right.
I was gonna say A New Hope.
All right. Go ahead.
My cousin Vinny, I have seen that movie like 70
Oh,
times.
you do the best Marissa Tomei impersonation. Can you please just give it?
She's like, dead on, balls accurate. Right?
Keep going.
No,
Keep going,
no,
man.
I could do quips from her. That's about it.
What snacks have you been loving, Jbird? I did like the pretzels that I had last night. You like the Schneider's chocolate pretzels. I was more partial to the
Hershey's.
I thought the salt came through a little bit more nice than the
Hershey's chocolate has a distinct smell. It has a distinct flavor. That's why I like the Schneider's one a little bit. That one tasted like somebody, dunked it in Hershey's chocolate. If you're down for Hershey's chocolate, it's great.
Kindergarten
Men in Tights
Cop.
is
People
funny.
are asking about.
Yeah, Kindergarten Cop's funny. Arnold Schwarzenegger put into like a role where he's like, the proper citizen. That's always pretty funny.
Are
You complete me. That's one of your favorites.
You complete me, Jerry Maguire.
Oh yeah, you love that.
Help me, help you. Help me, help you.
Who's coming with me?
Who's coming with me? How about this one? Are you crying? Are
There's no-
you crying?
It had to be you.
We're losing the room, man.
Yeah, that's a good movie though. That's a fantastic movie though.
Yeah. So we're gonna just be so Weird and Whatever tomorrow. We're gonna be doing that at 3:30 p.m. on our Zoom from everybody's house. We'll do that, and then Thursday we're thinking about doing a snack pack podcast. Get the guys doing the Zoom thing, and then Friday we've got the KVJ cocktails and karaoke. No, cocktail hour that we're doing.
Cocktail hour followed up by.
Yeah. So yeah, let the fam know this Friday we will be doing another cocktail hour with the KVJ show.
Last Boy Scout's a good movie.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
I want to hear you scream in pain. Play some rap music.
Who, in your opinion, is the hottest, sexiest cartoon? If you could get with one, don't say Jessica Rabbit. That's everyone's go-to.
No, I like the mouse from Rescue Rangers. I'm kind of bummed out that I recalled that so quickly, but I had a sex dream about her when I was like freaking 11.
Yeah, you can have sex dreams about cartoons. It does happen.
It was weird. I think Monterey Jack was there, which was pretty rough. I don't know why. I must have repressed it.
I think when I was little, I accidentally saw this Betty Boop cartoon that was
Little
sexual
more
in
risque.
nature. Yes. And I think I started having a thing for Betty Boop, man, because I
Well,
saw it.
totally.
And it was pretty graphic.
Oh,
For
yeah.
a cartoon, that is.
Yeah, so initially I don't think cartoons were made for kids. I think initially it was cool that animation was real. So they made them, sometimes it was for like propaganda. They made them so movie trailers used to be at the end of movies. Then people stopped staying and watching them. So they put them at the front of movies. But what they used to play is like cartoons, PSAs. They used to film anything. Once they had the camera, they started filming everything.
There are people that have a fetish with cartoons. They make cartoon porn
Totally.
for people who are into that. The Heavy Metal is a cartoon from back in the day. It was very sexual in nature.
So HBO would every now and then have like a night or a day where they would just let people watch HBO and they would go away. And then I remember Heavy Metal was coming on and I was hoping it lined up with the time that before the cutoff. And halfway through it got scrambled and I ended up watching the rest of it.
Back in the day, they would have Playboy on. They'd give free Playboy for a weekend. And me and my brother, first of all, couldn't believe that it was happening. Some nights they'd forget to shut it off until Tuesday, so you get that extra Monday of titties. Oh, it was amazing, Penny. But then there was times where when it would go off, it would scramble, and you would, as a young, horny,
Totally.
you would be watching just to see a nipple.
You could argue that masturbation widespread, and I don't know how 18.
It's 18.
Yeah,
and older.
I think it's been.
It just
we
turned
keep
18.
forgetting to type that in.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
know,
I'm
man.
gonna change that. I'm gonna change it permanently to say 18 plus. There.
We gotta get better with.
We gotta
that,
tighten up our game,
'cause,
man.
Yeah, we swear sometimes.
I hate to
we
blame
apologize. We don't mean to.
I don't want to blame the quarantine, but it certainly hasn't helped at
Well,
all.
I think we're all in a weird place. Swearing just kind of comes
But
out.
you could argue that it's making us lazier as a population.
What, the quarantining?
No, masturbation.
Oh, well, yeah.
Maybe
Okay,
both.
Well, if you're quarantining, you're masturbating.
But I'm just saying the lengths people would go back in the day to court someone, it would go to extreme lengths, you know, and it meant something. I mean, when you can just easily, at the wink of an eye, I mean, if you wanted pornography when you were young in our day, back in the day, you know, when porn was hard to get, you had to like actually seek it out, or it was just you couldn't come across it. It had to be like lucky moments, right?
Yes.
So it was kind of now it's like the flip of a switch, and it's weird that, and I bring this up all the time, that television is censored and movies have ratings and video games have ratings, and then internet is given to every single person that has 2 feet and walks around, and it's not censored. It's the one thing that's not censored that every single person has. It's crazy.
I know, my man.
So I just don't understand why that is.
Hanging with you guys here is way cleaner than the thoughts of our own. Okay, Gilberto, I like that. Yeah, we're a sick species.
Mm-hmm.
Made for awkward moments with the... Oh, man. Yeah, okay, so Tiffany says, I remember... Sorry, man, these comments go up too quick. As I'm reading it, it jumps.
Yeah, and it doesn't let you scroll back.
No, it doesn't. So if I read a comment that I like and then it goes away, it's gone for... basically she said... I can't read the friggin' comment now. It's gone.
Well, awkward moments with the parentals. We watched the movie Interview with a Vampire. I was a kid. We rented it, right?
Yeah.
Dude, halfway through that movie, they strip a woman nude, and then, spoiler alert, they kill her on stage, the vampires. I was like watching that with my parents. I was like, damn, this is awkward as hell.
Oh,
you know?
there's a... I remember, like you said, I love Jerry Maguire. So I rented it, and I brought it over to my buddy's house, and we watched it with his mom. And I totally forgot about this scene where Tom Cruise and Kelly Preston, they're having sex, and she's on top of him. And she says the line, "Never stop effing me." And I remember right when the scene started, I look at my buddy and go, oh, wait, I forgot about this scene. And it was so awkward to watch that whole scene with his mom right next to me. Oh,
feels like it's 15 minutes long.
Oh, my armpits were just so sweaty during that time period. And then I'm awkwardly apologizing. I didn't know. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
I think that happens probably to like every family at some point in your childhood. You're gonna watch an awkward thing with your parents. I don't know if it's just the Western way of thinking that we make that weird, or
awkward
is it humans that make it weird.
Yeah, I just think being a human is awkward. Even the first time I ever had to interact with kids at a school, the very first day, it was awkward. It was at a preschool at a church, and we were all having snacks. Now, I didn't know any of the rules about toys, and you couldn't do this. So I was already nervous being there. I finished up my cookies and my lemonade. It was great lemonade too, really, really sugary. You know, back then they didn't care about food and what it did to kids.
Yeah, there was no rules.
Yeah, so I finish up and everyone's still eating. So I just get up and I start playing with the toys. And then the teacher gets up and just makes this big deal about how, no, Jason, we do not play with the toys. And all the kids stop. Like in a movie, they all stop and look over. And she starts yelling at me about taking the toys, and I was so freaked out. Awkward moment. But that was the very first interaction I had with kids. Like, okay, it's going to be a little awkward out here. Better get used to the awkwardness, kid.
Yeah, it's weird when you first get thrown into a situation. Like you said, I remember when I first went to like first grade or preschool or kindergarten, one of those three, or kind of in the same age range. Like, I didn't realize that when you had toys, it was like communal, you know? It's like sharing was like such a basic principle now, but back then, so foreign. You had to learn to share your stuff, and you just hope everybody kind of learns all those basic rules.
I think what was awkward was just being called out. I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
And that, as a kid, being called out
is rough.
Is embarrassing. But you could argue that's how you learn, because guess what? I didn't play with those friggin' toys again when I wasn't supposed to.
Totally. In
fact, it worked.
Getting called out definitely works.
Getting called out, it sucks. It's terrible.
Especially when you're young. There's a big gap time period when you're developing that you just get embarrassed easily.
Oh,
man. Yeah. I mean, you kind of grow out of it a little bit. But yeah, there's a period where just everything embarrasses you. Your parents say something, you're like, Mom.
Well, when you first have a crush on somebody and you're trying just to figure out.
And you're trying to be cool, but you're trying not to let her know. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, you're trying to just get a way in to talk to them somehow. Mm-hmm. And what's going to be your opening? I mean, when you're trying to figure that out growing up, It's confusing. I get 12, 13, 14 age range.
We all avoid the awkward moments, but you could argue they're the most profound moments.
They're the ones that teach you. No, you're completely
Learning
right.
moments, yeah.
When you're not uncomfortable, you're not really growing.
That's what they say. The minute you're comfortable, you're no longer growing. It sucks.
Have you ever done something where you're dreading it? You're dreading it because A, it's not in your comfort zone, and you finally get through it, and then it's all the dust is settled, and you're sitting at home, and even if it was awful, you're pretty relieved that you at least went for it.
The relief is worth it.
Unless it goes,
Sour.
just such a because that could happen too.
Absolutely.
You dread something, and it's not only bad; it's worse than you could have ever imagined.
I didn't even conceptualize that.
Yeah, so like, wow, it's really, really bad. Shit.
Oh yes.
But yeah, no, learning, I think, is definitely through the rougher times.
Yeah, and you never stop either. I mean, it's weird as you delve into adulthood. Different things embarrass you. Different things make you scared. Like I'm developing fears. Not that I have like profound fears that I can't control or phobias. I mean, I am pretty. There's certain types of spiders that I just find absolutely foreign and horrifying. That I just don't know if I'll ever get past. And maybe it's just repressed memories or what it be. I mean, I remember as a child, I'd see them on the walls. Sometimes at night, I'd have to call my parents. I don't know if that just sat with me, and for some reason, those manifested into some crazy fear. But, like, lately, I used to surf. I used to wakeboard. I'd go swimming. I would try to, like, free dive. I scuba dive. I'm certified. I used to do all that, man. Now the ocean kind of scares me.
Kind of sound like you're bragging, Denny's.
Yeah. And furthermore, no, but then, you know.
Certified dick.
I don't. If it's just I've probably been out of that environment too long now that I have a fear of it. Weirdly,
it's different. A, you're at a different age. B, you've got someone other than yourself. You're in a partnership with your wife, so that whether you know that or not, that's going to change how you attack things. You know, well, just look at how you even drink alcohol. If you were single Denny's, you would drink alcohol in a different
constantly.
way. So you adjust your behavior
Absolutely.
Because you are in a partnership.
For sure.
And I think that's a big part of it. And I think too, some of that just goes out with aging.
Yeah.
When you get older, sometimes not for all people. I think it's different for all people, but the daredevilness I think starts to leave. Because you don't want to chance anything, especially got something stupid.
Oh, I mean, you're in your 20s, pissing vinegar, going crazy, you know? It's weird, the hormones, man. They make people just go crazy.
Hormones are a weird thing for us humans.
They are. They're just robust and powerful when you're young.
Would you rather be a werewolf or a vampire?
Out of the two, so we got to set up the rules, though, because there's been a lot of iterations of werewolves and vampires.
Agreed. So, we need some ground rules.
Well, so if it's like Nosferatu, then no, I'd rather be a werewolf.
Basically, you are a true blood type vampire where
cool.
You're able to live your life drinking that bullshit blood, but you get the cravings and you struggle.
You get the bloodlust every now and then.
You get a lot of bloodlust. Or you are a werewolf.
The full moon, silver bullets.
Once a month, you are a werewolf and you murder people. But as a vampire, you can murder. If you're having a shit day,
the rest of your life's normal as a werewolf.
You don't sleep well as a vampire. You're still producer Denny's. You got to go do KVJ stuff, but you are a vampire. Let's say the day goes a little bit longer. Kevin's got you doing something extra. You're a little moodier that day. Yeah. Now that patient vampire might eat the delivery person.
I'll probably do vampire.
That's interesting.
So I see the word immortality thrown around with vampires. Do Lycan also possess immortality?
The
werewolf?
Yeah, the werewolves. So if we're going on werewolf rules,
so everybody wants immortality, right? But if you had it, would you actually want it? You know,
that's a good question.
Because it's got to be tough. I mean, everybody you ever know, it's gonna make you one calloused MFer, right?
Yeah. Someone wants to know what happened to the bra. Well, first of all, the bra that you brought me today broke. That's not going to work. Virginia's bringing me some more, but it's why I leave the house. So I'm not breaking any bikini rules, and I left it there. Don't worry. Y'all had plenty of Jbird's titties in your face today.
Yeah, more than you probably want.
I don't think anyone's complaining.
Although your cleavage was popping.
Yeah. Right now, my left breast is a bit of a bosom. I gained a little weight.
Well, no, I was saying it was a push-up.
Denny's, I'm fat.
It was a push-up. That's why I don't think it fit you.
I'm just kidding, old friend.
Yeah, I mean, put your taters in.
Don't you feel like the expression "old friend" when you call someone old friend, that is a
Well, it means I think of old as a time frame.
Absolutely.
Not
Like
so much like your
like a
elder.
like a Jedi type old friend. Good to see. We have a history together.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I feel like some of the Jedis. I feel like when you become a Jedi, do you live longer? I feel like some
I
of
would
those guys
imagine. If you're a Jedi,
compared to normal
well,
species.
think about Yoda. Yoda lives to 900.
But is that because of his species, or is that because he became a Jedi?
That's a great question, Dennis.
I think that's because of his species. Like Obi-Wan, though, did he live to normal, whatever race or whatever species that they are in the far, far galaxy away,
So, in my opinion, I don't speak that highly of the prequels or even the last movies.
Yeah.
I do like the old ones, but I don't hate a lot, or I don't hate some of the prequels. I think Ewan McGregor did a great job as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think that's a
Absolutely.
highlight in the prequels of Star Wars, and I also think Darth Maul is one of my favorite characters. He was such a badass in that movie. It could have been even badder.
You could have had 3 movies with Darth Maul.
Let's double down on Jar Jar and
Dooku.
Dooku, and let's just go ahead and say, screw Darth Maul, a cool ass villain.
I thought Grievous was cool at first. And
Grievous
then
was kind of cool.
He was kind of cool at first.
Yeah, I'm with you.
He was all right, but yeah, Darth Maul was awesome. He was fearful. He was everything you wanted in a Sith, and then they killed him. Not spoiler alert, but they killed him.
Darth Maul dies. We're sorry, but he
In one movie.
Although he doesn't.
They say that he came back. He climbed out or something.
I'm not a fan of that. If we're not going to go too. Yeah.
I don't like any.
Well, we won't go too into Star Wars.
So I guess there's a novels that were written about Star Wars that people hold as like the.
They do canon. They
As a canon.
They do, and then you go into a Star Wars movie and you don't read these books and you watch Solo, and then you go, "How the shit are some of these people alive? They already died. Oh, you didn't read the book. Well, screw you."
And then they also paralleled it with the Clone Wars animated series, which I never watched, and there was a lot of lore in there too. So it was too spread out for me.
So is Joke Jury tomorrow?
No, we're in whatever podcast.
Well, that's right. Joke Jury's on Thursday. How you doing with your jokes?
I gotta start working on them. So throughout
Is there a Sith joke in there somewhere?
I've done Sith jokes. Oh gosh, I think every time there was 3 years there where Star Wars movies were just coming out, so like I had to do a lot of Star Wars stuff. I've burned a lot of Star Wars.
Yeah, a lot of people giving me a hard time about that Pluto answer I gave today about the.
Because they
close-
demoted it from a planet status, and
I
then
got
I heard it got taken out.
I
as
got
a
confused
dwarf.
on that question, but the one thing that I did realize we need to learn the planets in the right order. Could you name them all in the right correct order?
Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and then formerly Pluto.
It was. Remember when we looked at the globe or the map? We hadn't looked at a map, I think, in 15 years.
So map was cool because so I see the American landscape a lot, and it's funny enough. If it's blanked out and you have to kind of fill in even the line, dude, it's so hard.
Well, it's not like we don't know where Alaska is at and where Hawaii is at.
For
But
sure.
when you don't look at it all the time,
There's a couple tricky ones in there.
yeah, you
And-
go, wow, that's really off of the beaten path.
Well, the Northeast is difficult because there's a lot jammed into a small area, and then when you get out west, a lot of those are gigantic real estate, and it's easy to mix them up, man. But when you look at the world map, when you look in the relation of where like Mongolia is to China, which is relative to Japan, which then you look at Hawaii, which would be like the halfway point back to the Americas on the Pacific coast. When you look at the amount of real estate that is covered and how large and vast it is so incredibly perplexing. And then comparing it relative to where we are in other countries, it blows your mind.
Then you see how big Canada is and parts of Canada where if you
Gigantic.
were a Sasquatch, there's plenty of real estate to be chilling out there.
There's so much land up there, like north of the Yukon, that is just. It's got to be vast. What, tundra? Is that just? It's just frozen tundra.
Yeah, I mean that's
Same as Siberia. There's got to be. That's where. So there's theories that aliens were underwater and then water froze and then froze them in ice and they're suspended in like suspended animation essentially. That's like a theory, right? So the places those would work would be your polar caps, but also Siberia. That's clearly a place that could easily happen at because it's so cold. That's where they show the videos of buckets of water freezing.
Think about if you are smarter than humans and you know how to maneuver your own technology, you'd be able to find places on Earth where people aren't at, where you could just chill and hide out and do your shit if you wanted to. I mean, that's not that crazy of an argument, I feel.
Or aliens could be not susceptible to temperature. There's a term called, I think it's called carbon, not carbon narcissism. It is carbon chauvinism. And it's a person's inability to conceptualize something that isn't carbon-based, which is what everything we have and experience is carbon-based, that there could be intelligent life in gas, cosmos, unseen.
Yeah.
And it's hard for a human to even conceptualize that concept. So it's hard to think that aliens could come here. Maybe they're just transparent. Maybe they're in a different dimension. All that could happen. It also could not happen. That's the
Well, it's not like electricity was always there.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't like it wasn't there. It was there. We just finally found a way to harness it.
Exactly.
You mean to tell me electricity is the only thing we haven't learned we just learned how to harness? There's got to be other levels of shit we don't even understand yet.
Well, think about this. There's 3 things that you can't even explain. If an alien landed here and they're like, "Nice to meet you, Jbird. Explain to me, what is this bright thing?" And you're
are
like,
you an alien or a robot? I can't tell. It's an
office reference.
Office
That's good. That's good. Karen the Philippine. If you had to explain what water was to a person who never knew what water was,
it's
how
gross. It hurts my stomach. No flavor.
I don't
it's
drink
shitty.
it.
That's how I would
I
describe
only like it carbonated.
No, I hear what you're saying.
So electricity, light, water, those 3 things are so odd, right?
They are.
How do you explain that? It doesn't actually exist. It leaves like an imprint. You know, when you look at electricity, a lightning strike, it's only there for a flash, and you can see just this pure force. But what is that?
Well, we get so just kind of numb to, because it sounds like we're having a stoner conversation.
Totally.
But when you think about it, and it's going to sound like, whoa, Bird, how high are you? But sleep is a weird, man. Just
That you have to shut down and
well,
rest.
there's the fact that you have to go under, you get run down if you don't sleep, you have dreams, almost like this alternate world happens when you go under, which is full of all of this crazy stuff. And I feel like we still haven't we don't understand that. Other than resting the body, what's the point of dreaming? Is that to help imagination? Is that part of the human spirit to keep us creative? You know, a lot of people get creative ideas from their dreams. Is that just a form of inspiration that's built into us as our DNA?
If you want to get even more 420, what is consciousness?
Oh,
like you have an internal monologue inside this like vessel that you randomly can control, right?
Yeah.
Like people pride themselves on learning talents and challenging their reflexes by competing in sports and stuff, because you can prove that you can control your body better than other people because you've done it. Your body, it's crazy. I can read something once and then in 2 weeks you could say something. I'm like, oh dude, I just saw something like that, you know?
Oh yeah.
Why is our body designed so powerfully to keep it's first off, it's designed to keep us alive, and it's designed to be curious. Weirdly, it wants answers to things that we will never get answers. It's almost like our entire existence is almost a paradox.
It is, I feel.
A tortured paradox.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
then you wonder, and to get real stoner, is it an experiment? Like how would you explain what life is, what consciousness is, what a heartbeat is to something?
well, since I was a little kid, I always asked the question, why? What was here before? I mean, we've talked about on the Weird and Whatever. The thing that's always blown my mind was, what was here before this was here? Was there always something going on? That's one of those things the human brain can't even fathom, because we have a beginning, middle, and end. That's how we recognize everything that
Absolutely.
we process. So the idea of something always existing without it being created is a weird.
Well, it's the chicken and the egg.
It's a crazy. But since I was a little kid,
Totally.
I've been thinking that.
Well, so the scientists will say, you know, these rocks, these systems collided with each other. They caused a giant explosion. That explosion heated up this core, and these planets were pulled to its gravity. But then you're like, but what the hell is all that? Like in what?
Who made the rocks?
In what? This giant jar that just floats on like a turtle?
Where'd the rocks come from? Like,
That's what I'm
everything's
saying.
got to finally lead to the beginning line.
Where does
right?
carbon come from? Why is carbon any different from anything else?
Well, even with the Big Bang Theory,
That's what I'm saying.
well, how does that all of a sudden just start?
Yeah, why was the moon shattered off of an explosion that happened in space? Why is there even space?
I think we're giving people an anxiety
Yes,
attack.
we got to stop. We got to stop. So I'm not eating shrimp scampi.
This is some of the stuff we talk about.
Yeah, we'll get sucked into it. I forgot we had the chat.
I
here.
forgot we're just gotta just gamming on.
We just kind of just chatting there. I kind of got sucked in. Oh jeez. Yeah, the shrimp are doing good. I haven't eaten shrimp. I maybe feel weird about it, but
You're raising shrimp to let people know who don't know that.
So I got these little tiny shrimp, the Opa Ula shrimp. They're Hawaiian red volcanic shrimp. They're really cool, and they really don't require much to survive. In fact, they take no maintenance, almost no maintenance. You know, you got to make sure they get a little bit of light and make sure their water's not effed up. But you don't even have to mess with their water. In fact, the less you mess with it, the better.
So, Denny's, I'm kind of disappointed on the food today.
That's what you were saying earlier.
Yeah, you know, it's weird. It's a hit or miss with the Sicilian. Sometimes they make the dough a little too Brillo patty.
That's a 50-50 too.
It's
People
50.
like thin, people like the thick.
Someone wants to know how Chewy's doing. Yeah, Chewy is doing all right. He's just struggling. He's getting older. It's unfortunate to see because he had so much life in him when I first got him. He's always been a special needs dog. I know some people don't know the little back story of Chewy. We adopted him. My dad adopted him in Texas like 6 or 7 years ago. He had really bad diabetes. He has a big old tumor on the side of his belly, which makes him look a lot heavier than what he is. So he gets fat shamed a lot on social media, Denny's. But he's just, you know, he's going to be 15. He is blind. Walking him is turned into a different kind of a deal.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think some of his senses are dulling a little bit.
It's just
I
tough.
think some of it's age. I think some of it's.
It's definitely age. It's just tough to see a champion slow down, baby.
Absolutely.
It's just tough. I've never loved a dog like that dog. Love Chewy so much. But yeah, he's doing good. He's having a good day today. So thank you for asking. Denny's, your cat. Do you even like your cats? And some people think the talking cat's not real. We got a talking cat, y'all. Or he's got a talking
Rufus,
cat.
yeah.
Rufus the talking cat. Although he's been kind of quiet.
Yeah, so I think just because there's a lot more, I don't know, we're home more, or, you know, at least Jen's home more, so I think he sees her more, so he kind of hides out. He doesn't,
Yeah.
you know, when there's no one there for a little bit, he's excited to see people. Probably why he's been a little bit quieter, but yeah, I like the cats. They've grown on me for sure. Initially, I used to have cats when I was a kid, though, you know. It wasn't like I didn't have them. When I got on my own, I was like, no more animals, because it's a lot of upkeep.
Cats were always a controversial kind of a pet in the Pennington household, only because my oldest sister, she got scratched by one of our cats. And then like a day and a half later, if you've ever seen Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, it looked like she was growing an everlasting gobstopper out of her chest. It was gnarly looking, and it was, I believe, a form of cat scratch, whatever that.
Yeah, cat scratch
Yeah.
fever. Yeah, Violet, you're turning violet, Violet.
That's a good line, Denny's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the one you quote constantly.
Parents in the chat room that have kids that are 15 years or younger, does a Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory movie still hold up? Because keep in mind, that shit was old when I was a kid, and it held up for me, but it was thrown down my throat a lot. It was always on TV, which we were talking about earlier. If repetition happens, you're gonna end up watching, absorbing that movie or that song a lot and knowing it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if you got anything on VHS, when you used to go to Blockbuster, and I'm not trying to, Denny explain Blockbuster, but you would go there and you would have a movie for 3 days. You'd watch it sometimes, man. Sometimes we'd watch movies 3 or 4 times. Because you only had it for a limited time. And then you'd want to be able to remember it and tell people about it. So we would watch, and sometimes we'd watch it at night, and then we'd watch it again the next morning. That was like a pretty routine thing for us to do. I felt like that was like a cool way to absorb the movie.
Joshua in the chat room says, no way, man, it doesn't hold up. And then I have a bunch of people saying it does hold up. So I don't know what to tell you, Joshua. I think you need to watch it again. Really zone in on Slugsworth's character.
Yeah, Slugsworth.
I love Slugsworth.
He's the twist in there. He's the
I love
M. Night.
Slugsworth.
Yeah, he's the M. Night. That probably blew people's minds, initially.
I'm a big, you just said M. Night Shyamalan. I love me some M. Night Shyamalan.
You do. You've seen all his work, I think, too.
Yeah, someone was asking if we're going to do a KVJ horror movie. I don't know because of all this craziness. I think when things do start to get somewhat normal and things are, like people are going to work again and people are coming to work, it's going to be balls to the wall. There's going to be all kind of new guidelines at work. I would love to do another Halloween movie. Those are a lot of fun, but they are a lot of work. And we just have to make sure if we're doing a Halloween movie, because it takes up all of our time that we have to also produce KVJ content,
'Cause it takes,
videos, and work on the movie at the same time, which gets a little tricky because when you're in the middle of doing the movie, you don't want to work on anything else.
Yeah, it takes like 2 months too, even like 3 months almost. Some of them. It just depends. We've done a couple of them, so
Yeah. So if you guys are bored and you want to check out the KVJ horror movies, they're all on YouTube. Just type in KVJ horror movie. It's So Much Blood is one of them, Victims Galore, and Clowns Have Murderous Ways. It is rated R.
they all are.
They are all rated R. So yeah, Denny's.
Yeah.
Let's see what the people are saying. Did you like Glass? Yeah, I didn't mind Glass. I think my favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie is Signs. I love that
you
movie.
quote that one a lot.
You don't like Signs that much. I think that's such an eerie movie because the cornfields are scary as shit.
Oh, I don't disagree. I did like Signs. I just don't know if I just don't quote it. I mean, you like I said, we did that one contest or not, that game on KVJ, and he said, "What's Bird's favorite movie?" And I put Signs, even though you said Karate Kid.
Yeah, Signs is not my favorite movie, but
you quote it
I love
so
it, though.
much, and you love that movie. That's got to be in your top like 5.
Yeah, there's a Twilight Zone episode where there's a little kid who's got mind powers. I'm talking the old school Twilight Zone, and he banishes people out to the cornfield. And I just always thought that was so creepy. Imagine
Yeah.
getting chased by a murderer with an axe in a cornfield in the dark, and you have no idea where you're going.
What'll happen is you think you outran him, and it's quiet, and you're looking around, and then all of a sudden something grabs your leg.
What's more horrifying, getting chased in the forest or the woods by a man with an axe or the cornfield? What do you have a better chance of surviving?
I would rather be in the woods
I think I would too.
because you can hide behind trees.
Yeah, woods, because we know woods somewhat. A cornfield, I don't know what the shit's going on in a cornfield.
Yeah, cornfield's creepy because I feel like people, if there's more stuff in between you and them, it's harder to see them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get down on 4s and just crawl really slow. God, that'd be terrifying.
Children of the Corn, another scary movie. The opening of that movie, Children of the
Super
Corn,
creepy.
is a weird beginning, man.
Yeah.
If you guys like horror movies, it's old school, but Children of the Corn, if you haven't seen it, pretty weird. It's an out there flick.
Yeah.
All right, Denny's. Yeah, any closing thoughts to the nice people? Thank you guys for tuning in with
Yeah,
us.
it's kind of cool. Again, impromptu. We were kind of just trying to think of something to do.
Yeah.
Hang out, order some food.
Yeah, we get that it's not not
The typical stuff.
yeah, we're just trying to keep y'all company, and you guys are keeping us company, so
Yeah.
we definitely thank you. Email us. What's a good email for people to get a hold of, Denny's?
Email us at mail@kvjshow.com. Just mail@kvjshow.com.
Yeah, if you got any questions or any answers, we'll also keep doing these
Questions or answers.
Yeah, questions or answers. Yeah, because we've had some questions today that we don't have the answers to. All right, I'm ready to go eat some more shitty pizza. We love you all, and
Bigfoot is real.
The Value Meal Killer. Sasquatch Recordings.
I'll get you anything you want, anything you need. I'll get you Taco Bell, Burger King, and Mickey D. My cheese fries will make you open your thighs. I'll feed you pizza pie,
Until the day you die.
and I'm gonna make you chocolate chip cookies. They'll taste so good, they make you howl like a Wookiee.
Hey, boo.
I'm gonna get you to slobber on them cheddar biscuits, they make it Red Lobster.
He's got so many snacks you'll think it's heaven.
My bedroom is just like a 7-Eleven.
He don't have herpes.
But I got Slurpees, I got Hot Pockets, and I got beef jerky. I'm a snack fiend and I need a snack queen, and that will help me clean out the vending machine.
He's the snack king, so y'all better get ready.
I'm gonna eat you up like your little Debbie.
He's a snack king, baby. He's got stacks of snacks that'll drive y'all crazy. He's a snack king, ladies. So play with his biscuits and slurp up his gravy. Bow, bow down to the snack king, bow. You know I'm gonna eat that snack packs back, and we love snacks. We eat snacks like a crackhead smokes snack king. Girls, he's gonna make your knees weak.
Cause beneath the sheets, I am a snack freak. It's booty call time, so let's hang and bang. Cause I got corn fritters out the gang gang.
1, 2, 3 into the 4.
I'm the hungry motherfucker, send a pizza to your door.
Damn girl, you're looking all flush.
Cause I know you lust for my pizza crust. I'm that food is gonna get you in the mood by feeding that fine ass but chicken and seafood.
Chips, dips, I need a snack chick that'll put my mozzarella stick in between her lips.
I'm the snack king and I'm gonna bring you to your knees cause I know how to please with the grilled cheese.
Girl, if I get you some Pizza Hut,
will you be my freaky pizza slut?
Okay.
he's a snack king, baby. He's got stacks of snacks that'll drive y'all crazy. He's a snack king, ladies. So play with his biscuits and slurp up his gravy. Bow down to the snack king, bow. You know I'm gonna eat that. Snack packs back and we love snacks. We eat snacks like a crowd can. Smoke snack king.